Let me talk to y'all real quick. Because some people have been lying. Some people have been exaggerating. Some people have been falsifying information, repeating bullshit narratives. The words that Jasmine Crockett has been speaking on the airwaves has not been good for Black Americans. It's been that way for quite some time, but it's even gotten worse lately. It's as if the battery that was in her back got set on booster. Most recently, she made some comments about slave patrols. She was comparing slave patrols to ICE deportations. And I didn't hear a lot of the talking heads pushing back on the nonsense. It was like silence. Let's be very much aware of what we're talking about here. Slave patrols were here to support slavery. Deportations are to remove people who came here in overstayed visas or came through illegal entries. That's a totally different thing. Slave patrols took people who were considered human property and returned that property to the owner. ICE deporters take people that are here illegally, if adjudicated that way, and sent them back to their homeland. Not to a person's basement, not to someone's shackles, not to someone's cotton field. The fact that Black Americans are not upset with this comparison, that I'm not hearing everybody in mainstream media and independent media call this out, leads me to believe that a lot of you are complicit. If that wasn't enough, she also made claims that we all need to stick together. We need to all either rise together, rise united, stand united, or fall divided. Stand united or fall divided. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the unemployment rate, the incarceration rate, the homeless rate, we all know we're in the bottom slot. And guess what? No one's standing with us in that slot with us. That's just us, Black Americans, bringing up the rear. The Democratic Party wants Black people to band together with brown people only when it helps brown people and when it helps the Democratic Party. And we very well know there are a lot of Latino Americans, Hispanic Americans who are Americans. They are citizens. They don't need us to stand with them against ICE. They are citizens. You would think that would be enough of the disgusting things that a person could say when she tries to whitewash Black people and shame and guilt Black people into jumping into a train of where we have to go against ICE, that we have to attack ICE, that we gotta fight ICE. Meanwhile, we're fighting foreclosure. We're fighting evictions. We're fighting a tight job market. That's what Black Americans are fighting. And who's fighting that fight with us? Not Jasmine Crockett, not the Democrats that are toting these lines, not the Democrats that are jumping on the screens every day to tell us what we need to do so that they can have a stronger, thicker voting base. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Then there were the claims that immigrants built America. Wow, that's amazing how someone could build something that was already built. The majority of immigrants didn't start coming until the Naturalization Act was passed in 1965. There was a big difference between immigrants building America and blacks or slaves building America. One of those groups got paid. In fact, I don't think I got enough Black people upset about this. Lately, Jasmine Crockett's been on a tear about ICE detention centers being unfit. People dying in ICE detention centers. 12 ICE detention deaths in 2024. Now, that's a lot. That's more than it should ever be. That's horrific. But when I do the math on prisons for American citizens in her own state, 176 inmates died in Texas custody in the penal system. And Jasmine Crockett doesn't have a word to say about that. You're 15 times more likely as a U.S. citizen to die in prison in Texas than you are to die in an ICE detention center if you are an illegal or undocumented person. And I would tell you, maybe a good thing would happen. The best thing that can happen to a black man in Texas in jail is that he gets put into an ICE detention center. It's a lot safer in there. Black Americans are not stupid. We're not confused. We're tired. We're tired of being gaslit on everybody else's behalf. We're tired of being the mule that everyone rides to their freedom, to their civil rights. Everybody uses us, from trans to undocumented people. Everything is on the backs of black American pain and suffering. And when you need somebody to call out, when you're calling someone out to come carry the torch, to march, to fight, and to be the loud voice, it's got to be either a black man or a black woman. Jasmine Crockett is that person, throwing black Americans under the bus to fulfill an agenda by the Democratic Party. This does not help black Americans. I have no problems at all with people wanting to support undocumented people, illegal immigrants, whatever. Fine, do that. But my job is to advocate for black Americans, and I'm going to do that. And what I'm telling you is, recently when there were layoffs, due to ICE detention raids at construction sites, there was a Latino construction worker. He filmed himself at his job site. No one was there. It looked like a ghost town because all of the employees were afraid that ICE was going to come get them. And in his own words, he said 95% of the people that work at that construction site are undocumented and they're afraid to come to work. I don't think he knew what he was saying. I don't think he understood that's supposed to be a secret that the blacks don't know about. Everyone wants to tell me, Tim Black, this doesn't hurt black Americans at all. It doesn't hurt black Americans at all that Joe Biden opened up the floodgates and let everybody and their mother into this country. It's not bad enough black Americans got to compete in a racist-ass country against white working-class people and Asian working-class people, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, and all other Americans. Now we have to compete against the entire globe, everybody that they can bring into the country. And for lower wages. And for lower wages. And for lower wages. As if that's a hard choice for a corporation trying to save money. Hire the people that'll take the least money. It's a no-brainer, fam. Money that should be spent in our communities, rebuilding our infrastructure, providing job programs for our sons and daughters, is being spent for people who weren't born in this country, who haven't put in on this country, who haven't sweat and died and fought for this country. And I'm supposed to be okay with it? And you, Jasmine Crockett, and you Jasmine Crockett supporters, you're up in arms because you say hard-working Latino Americans are losing their jobs, are not able to do their jobs. And you seem to be very passionate and very upset about it. You have an axe to grind. And all I'm saying is, where's your axe to grind for black Americans in the same predicament? Black Americans are losing their jobs. Those industries that the undocumented immigrants came in, that filled in high numbers, were industries we built. We built those industries, and now they're gone to someone else at a lower cost. The gaslighting isn't working anymore. People are waking up. They see what's happening. I'm seeing black Americans, from baby boomers to Gen Z, smelling what's cooking, and they don't like it. They don't like what Jasmine Crockett is cooking. Black labor built this country's wealth. From cotton, tobacco, our labor, our sweat, our tears, our deaths, paved the way for this country to be this great country. And what do we get for it? An influx of undocumented immigrants brought in by a sister, a black woman in a CBC that's lazy when it comes to standing up for us and is split with conscience over its pay, its donors, and its non-government organizations that fuel its elections. And they chose the elections. They chose the donations. They chose the pocketbooks of the corporations over us. There's no hiding it now. There's no denying it. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And the Democratic Party means us no good. It does not support working class Americans of any color. But we're just the ones, not only do they not support us, but they use us to reach their goals of bringing in a new voting crop, a new voting bloc, and an underpaid workforce. I'm not saying this is all Jasmine Crockett's fault. She didn't invent this. This has been going on a long time. She's just the latest face of the regime, of the Democratic Party machine, sending out its talking points, and she's more than happy to be the face of that movement against us. Black Americans have paid our debts. We gave our contribution to this country, and now we need to have something for our children. Don't disrespect us and our ancestors with this BS. Our children deserve futures. We're not anti-anybody. We're just pro-survival, which is an obligation of every human being. All of us have a responsibility to our families to provide for them and to survive. In order for us to survive, and not only survive, but thrive in this country, we got to put ourselves first. We have to demand that our representatives stand for us and not for someone else. Jasmine Crockett is setting us back. She's not moving us forward. And that goes for her and her enablers and her handlers and those who are too cowardly to call her out. I don't much care if you like what I had to say here today. But I know in my heart it needed to be said. Might as well be me. Stay dangerous.
Most dangerous. Stay dangerous. Stay dangerous.